JC Tickets provides first-class trips to Ravens road games, including airfare, 4-star hotels, game tickets, and cocktail parties. We also help provide great seating locations to all Ravens home games. JC Tickets, where the games begin. Visit us at jctickets.net.
Ravens Wrap is sponsored by Bud Light, jctickets.net, Geico Insurance, Dunaway Furniture, Ocean City Golf Club, RussellStreetReport.com, Comfort Inn Gold Coast, Holiday Inn Express, BuyAToyota.com, your official site for Toyota deals. The original Green Turtle, hosted by the Blue Ox Bar and Grill.
It's the original Green Turtles Ravens Wrap Show right here on Comcast Speech TV, 47 ABC WNBT and 93.5 The Beach, the rock station, and the strongest signal Ravens affiliate on the peninsula. The Ravens and the Jaguars, 1 o'clock Sunday, M&T Bank Stadium, network pregame at 12:30. Don't forget to check it out. Of course, our radio show on at 11 o'clock. We're on 47 ABC WNBT, Saturday night, 7:30, Sundays at noon on Comcast Speech TV, Thursday through Sunday, all throughout in various segments, so make sure to check it out. We are coming to you from the infamous Ravens Room at the Blue Ox Bar and Grill, 127th Street and Coastal Highway in Ocean City, right next to the beautiful Winter Festive Lights with Ravensers 44. Give yourselves a hand. 44! And I once again want to thank everybody in this room and all those folks that are watching for the charity this year, not only in the Operation Cookie Drop-Off that I had made mention of in the previous weeks, but all the charity that's been going on around the peninsula this time of year. We really appreciate it. So Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to all, and we're wishing you well for a great day coming up on the 25th. And we're hoping for a great day coming up this Sunday as the Ravens taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. And guys, before we get to that game, just taking a look at the AFC the AFC playoff picture, that is. Right now, the Ravens are on the outside looking in as that 7th seed. They're right behind San Diego, who win the tiebreaker against us based on head-to-head win percentage with the fact that they've beaten us. But the Ravens right now, 8-5, 2-3 in the division. They're 4-5 against the AFC conference. But, look, there's still 3 games to go. You've got Houston nipping right below the Ravens at their heels. We'll get them in the week after that. Got to take care of business. But San Diego 6, Pittsburgh at 5, Cincy at 4, Indianapolis 3, Denver 2, New England 1. But there's still division games for those other teams we mentioned, Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. We still have Cleveland to go. So there's 3 games. Again, we talked about you win out, you take care of business here. 11-5 should get you in the playoffs. Yeah, I think that's what we were talking about, how big that last game was. I mean, it really did put the ball back in their court. They have the opportunity now. If they take care of business, 11-5, like you said, definitely should get them into the postseason. Yeah. So it's in front of them, and that's the position they put themselves in with beating Miami. Sure, you'd like to have the San Diego game, but who knows? You don't beat, or if you beat Miami, maybe you don't go down with the urgency. Or excuse me, if you beat San Diego, maybe you don't go down to Miami with the urgency and beat the Dolphins. So. Exactly. I think we took care of it in the order we have to, and that's the hardest part for the young team is win the game you're playing. You can't do anything about what goes on the scoreboard. You just got to win it between the lines as you play. Yeah. Little history as we go into the game. Now, Jacksonville, not a very good team, 2-11, but this is how bad the AFC South is. They're in 3rd place. They're not in 4th place. I mean, we thought the NFC South was bad. 2-11 gets you 3rd place. What's going on in the league this year? There's so many teams that you're scratching your head looking at, and then you look at the fact, they beat the Giants 2 weeks ago. I mean, it's almost you can't. It's such a week-to-week league on one, and I know that's cliche, but it really is the fact of what's going on here. And then there's so many teams that you can't quite figure out this year. We were talking about the Saints during the break. I can't explain why they are as bad as they are right now. I mean, there's so many teams. They lost now 4 straight. We were talking about could the Ravens win? Could they make it 3 straight? New Orleans, could New Orleans possibly lose 3 straight? They'd already lost 2 straight, and yet now it's at 4. And now they're talking about them being a team that wins on the road but can't win at home. I mean, if that was the narrative coming into the season, no one would have bought that. But the Ravens are very good. We are 9-3 career in the Harbaugh era against rookie quarterbacks. So, we should fare well in this game. It's a good sign. Now, the Ravens, actually the Jaguars, and I just wanted to bring this up. The Jaguars lead the series 10-7. Now, in Baltimore, the Ravens are 5-4, in Jacksonville 2-6. But if you remember going back to the early days, Jacksonville had our number. Mark Brunell, Jimmy Smith, Keenan McCardle, they killed us. I mean, and it was great, the matchup. So Baselli and McCrary, that was a great matchup there. But Jacksonville, constantly, we would score a bunch of points, but our defense was so bad. They beat us the first 8 meetings before we finally beat them in November of 1999, 30-23. And since then, it's been a little bit more back and forth, a little bit more leaning to the Ravens. But the last time we played them, actually in October of 2011, the Jags beat us by a score of 12-7. And that was that Monday night game debacle that cost us a better seed in the AFC, if you remember that, down on the road, that is.
Now, that's one of my most memorable moments in M&T Stadium is, when Shannon Sharp caught that pass the year we went to our first Super Bowl.
Yeah, 39-36.
Exactly.
That's right.
And he came through there, and the entire stadium was going out cheering and singing, and I mean, it was really...
It was rocking on the ground after. I remember I was at that game. It was a PSI Net Stadium at the time, and unbelievable. Yeah.
But that was the game where people said, we might have something here. This really might be our year.
Tony Banks.
Yeah.
Of course, he wouldn't finish out the season. It would be Trent Dilfer leading us to the Super Bowl. So, obviously, we've got a little bit of history there with Jacksonville going back to the old AFC Central Division when it was Baltimore and Cincinnati and Cleveland and Houston and Jacksonville. Tennessee.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, not Houston, but Tennessee, who was a rival of ours. But, times have changed. This Ravens team 8-5, Jacksonville 2-11, and guys, we talk about taking care of business. The Ravens this year against the NFC South, a very weak division, 4-0. They've taken care of business for the most part against the teams they should. And again, there's no overlooking to me, Spencer. Jacksonville here, you need to win out. Yeah. There's no overlooking. You treat them like they're an 11-2 team.
Yeah, I think look at last week as that was a must-win situation. This one is a should-win. I mean, Jacksonville's not that good. I mean, whatever number you look at, they're the bottom of the league almost in every category.
Yeah. Defense 27th, offense 31st.
That's not very good.
Yeah. Tell the Giants that. They're down by 21 points, and boom, they come back. So.
Yeah, their passing offense is 28th, but with our secondary, we may make
it's a good matchup.
We may make them look a little bit better. But we talked about that. We know with our secondary, even against an average wide receiving core that they have, and taking a look at some of the guys. Now, Allen Robinson was their second leading receiver. He's out for the year, but Cecil Short's the third, one of their guys. They're average wide receiving core. But that said, we have an average or below average secondary.
They got some guys that you got to take notice of. I mean, Lee, you're right.
Marquise Lee at USC.
They got a couple guys that can make some things happen. They get some space. It's not the most intimidating. You're right. I mean, it's average at best. But you look at Bortles too. I mean, he's got a big arm. I'll give him that much. He's still got a lot of growth that needs to happen. He's still a rookie. He still makes those mistakes. But they are, they're still pros at the end of the day. You still have to come into this mentality that we have to be ready to go, or else you might end up like the Giants.
No, I like Bortles coming out. And same thing. He's a rookie this year. He may be taking his lumps, but down the road 2 or 3 years, you're going to cherish this time that you were able to beat him as a rookie.
Do you see any way that the Ravens lose this game? I mean, we talk about a week-to-week league, but let's talk about. We are a banged-up team in some key areas. You talked about the running back position. Let's talk about this. Yeah, it's a foregone conclusion the Ravens win. Well, no, it's not. No week is a foregone conclusion in the NFL.
It would take, I think, some kind of miscues in special teams. I think it would be some of the hidden yardage. I think that would have to swing their way in order for that. I mean, if it was just a straight-up game, you look at their offense and defense, I think it would be very difficult if the Ravens came to play for them to lose this game. It would either be them overlooking them and coming in just thinking, getting ready for the next week and kind of looking at how big that game's going to be. But as long as they come to play, I would fully expect them to, have this game in control.
I think with this year being the year it is, I mean, we have some bumps and bruises, like we're saying, Forsett and Taliaferro are bumped up. Look at the wide receivers, Torrey Smith might not play. I don't think this is one where you can just show up and count them. If you don't play as hard as you can, you're not going to win this game. This team is good enough to put a little chink in your armor. And the reality for them is all they got to do is win, and it makes their season.
Sure.
Whereas if we drop one, we still got a second chance where they feel like this would turn their season.
But
go ahead.
I'll say the other side of that is this is a team who doesn't have anything left to play for, and so if you jump on them, there's a good chance they're going to buckle and just pack it in. And the fact, Denard Robertson was, injured and now he's done for the rest of the season, they announced today. Their second leading rusher is Blake Bortles at 300. I mean, they're going against one of the best rushing defenses. They're clearly going to, the only thing they're going to have an opportunity to do is get to some of those average receivers. it just seems like this is tailor-made for a win for the Ravens.
You're looking at Toby Gerhart now, if I'm not mistaken, who's averaging 2.9 yards a carry in the running game. So that's behind Bortles there. That's rough. They've had some big injuries. We talked about Allen Robinson out for the year as their second leading receiver. Allen Hurns and Cecil Shorts at third, and Marquise Lee. Those are the three guys you'll be hearing at wide receiver for them.
But we're favored by 10 points, which is the biggest spread in the NFL. And the only thing worse than that is when 7 out of 7 writers in the Sun paper favor us. And that's when we know we're going down the tubes. But you got to watch against that favor by 10.
I think, Spencer, you hit upon it, though. Starting out slow could be something that clearly hurts us. You don't want to give a road team, especially if they don't have much to play for. You get them down early, okay? They're gonna check out on you. But if you allow them to stay in the game, and we know all about slow starts. We had that last year, most of the year. We had that in the first game of the season against Cincinnati, and it came back to bite us.
Yeah, the thing is, too, like you alluded to, I mean, they're a team that doesn't have pressure on them right now. They don't have any expectations at this point. And so if you get a little bit of confidence, they're playing loose and free. And sometimes those are the most dangerous teams that you can play against, guys that aren't afraid of making some sort of mistakes because they make aggressive mistakes in that situation. They're willing to go out there, and sometimes that pays off.
Well, I mean, with the way the league's set up now, with injuries and with salary cap structure, and every team is basically on the course of being right in the middle there, and it's only at the ends where you see the good teams separate. And with us right now, we're a very good team, but we're starting to feel some injuries. So I don't think the spread is going to be as great as it may look like on paper.
From an offensive standpoint, a couple guys we have to watch out for. Their left defensive tackle will be lined up over Marshall Yanda. Derek Marks, 8.5 sacks. Their right defensive end, Chris Clemens, who came from the Super Bowl winner, the Seattle Seahawks, at right defensive end. He'll be matched up against Eugene Monroe. He's got 7 sacks. So those guys are going to have some work cut out for him. Fortunately, their third leading sack artist, Ryan Davis, is out for the year. Also, Andre Branch, their backup right defensive end, has 3. But a couple of guys up front, though, that can get after the passers, so we'll have to be cognizant of that. But their leading tacklers, guys, Jonathan Cyprian, strong safety. Second leading tackler, Josh Evans, a free safety. So obviously teams are getting to the second and third levels, and that's not good. Got about 60 seconds. Give us your take and final prediction.
I will say Ravens 21, Jaguars 19.
Will they throw more to help out the run game because guys are beat up?
Yes, they will.
Okay.
That's closer than I would expect. I think the Ravens take it pretty handily. I think part of it, like we were talking about on the break too, that you might not see some of the weapons that the Ravens have, trying to give guys a little bit almost of a sneak of bye weekend. But I think it's going to be around 27-13.
Yeah, I don't think the Ravens, because they're up and down, I don't think they're a team that generally is going to cover by double-digit points, but they should be able to get it done in this game. But I'm going to go with the Ravens in this one. I'll give them the edge of 24 to 13 in this one is the edge. But I do see them throwing a little bit more to help those backs out who are banged up. That's going to do it for us. Go Ravens. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
What's this all about?
We're giving Rich the NFL experience of a goal line dive.
Really?
There's an easier way to get an ultimate NFL fan experience. Just snap the tag wherever Bud Light is sold and you could win. Bud Light in the NFL. Here we go.
Can I make it?
On the internet, yes. Into the end zone, no.
JC Tickets provides first-class trips to Ravens road games, including airfare, 4-star hotels, game tickets, and cocktail parties. We also help provide great seating locations to all Ravens home games. JC Tickets, where the games begin. Visit us at jctickets.net.